The reckoning dawned. The quantum array aboard the UES Intrepid flickered with dying signals, each pulse representing a human settlement being systematically erased. Captain Elara Vance watched the holographic display with controlled fury, her reflection ghosting over the storm of destruction. Beneath her fingers, the ship's emergency protocols hummed, not with panic, but with something far more dangerous. "Confirm Meridian colony status," she spoke, her voice sharp as a blade. Lieutenant Rivera's response came through, each word heavy with military composure barely containing raw emotion. "Total dissolution, Captain. Estimated population loss, 1.4 million. No survivors." The Vexari attack wasn't merely an invasion, it was surgical extinction. Elara's younger sister had been stationed on Meridian, leading an atmospheric engineering team that would have revolutionized humanity's ability to terraform hostile planets. Now she was less than atomic dust, wiped from existence by a pulse of quantum energy that left no trace. The communication panel chirped with an encrypted transmission from Earth Defense Command. Admiral Hassan's hologram materialized, his features etched with determination. "We're tracking multiple quantum breaches," Hassan reported. "The Vexari aren't just attacking colonies, they're systematically eliminating human potential." Elara understood immediately. Meridian wasn't just a colony, it was a research hub developing technologies that could have transformed humanity's future in the galaxy. The ship's monitoring systems collected fragmented data streams, survival logs, last transmissions, personal messages never to be received. One transmission captured Elara's attention. A young scientist, perhaps no older than 30, recording what she believed would be her final message. "If anyone finds this, tell them we didn't just die. Tell them we fought every second." The raw defiance in those words resonated through the command center. It wasn't a plea. It was a promise. Lieutenant Rivera's voice cut through again. "Multiple colony clusters going dark in Sector 9. Quantum disruption patterns suggest a coordinated assault." Elara's mind raced ahead. The Vexari believed they were conducting an efficient elimination, but human history was written by those who refused to be erased. Her fingers danced across encryption protocols, routing emergency data through hidden channels. "Initiate Phantom Protocol," Elara commanded. The experimental data preservation method would scatter mission-critical information across quantum subspaces. Even if physical infrastructure was destroyed, humanity's collective knowledge would survive. Admiral Hassan nodded grimly. "We're compiling every scrap of data, every research note, every technological blueprint. They will not erase our potential." The Intrepid's quantum core hummed with intensity, massive data streams of human scientific achievement, scattering across the galaxy, hidden in quantum shadows. Elara looked at the image of her sister, a holographic memorial now flickering beside the destruction map. "We're not going anywhere," she whispered. The words were a declaration, a war cry. Outside the ship's reinforced viewports, the first wave of human response was already mobilizing, not with fear, not with desperation, but with a cold, calculated promise of survival, and something more, unforgivable destruction. The United Earth Council chamber resembled an ancient gladiatorial arena more than a diplomatic venue. Holographic displays flickered with real-time data from devastated colonies, casting ghostly shadows across the faces of humanity's leaders. Ambassador Lucia Rice stood at the epicenter, every muscle tense with controlled rage. Behind her, a memorial wall displayed the names of the 1.4 million souls lost on Meridian Colony, a constant reminder of what was at stake. Dr. Wei Chen, Earth's lead xenolinguistics expert, prepared the translation matrices, his fingers dancing across quantum interfaces. "The Vexari communication protocols are unlike anything we've encountered," he muttered. "They communicate through complex quantum resonance patterns." The Vexari representatives materialized not as physical beings, but as intricate holographic constructs of fractal crystalline structures, moving with mathematical precision that suggested consciousness as an algorithmic process rather than an emotional experience. The primary Vexeri communicator, designated as Nexus Prime, began its transmission. The language, translated through Dr. Chen's matrices, sounded like a blend of mathematical equations and clinical pronouncements. Human collective, determination has been reached. Submission or systematic elimination is the only viable outcome. Your technological potential has been assessed. Resistance is computationally illogical. Lucia's response was anything but logical. You've destroyed our colonies, murdered millions, and you expect submission. A dangerous laugh escaped her lips. You've fundamentally misunderstood what it means to be human. Behind the diplomatic facade, humanity was already in motion. In secret research facilities scattered across Earth and its remaining colonies, teams were working with a fury that defied conventional scientific methodologies. Dr. Soren Nakamura's Quantum Warfare Division had been preparing for this moment since the first Vexeri ship was detected at the edge of the solar system. Research analyst Zora Okafor monitored the diplomatic transmission, her fingers flying across holographic interfaces, collecting every micro detail of the Vexeri communication. They're not just offering an ultimatum, Zara whispered to Soren. They're revealing their weaknesses. The Vexeri continued their clinical pronouncement. Your species demonstrates minimal quantum adaptability. Technological integration potential, 4.3%. Recommendation, total resource extraction and biological reconfiguration. Ambassador Rice's smile was razor-sharp. Let me be absolutely clear, she said, each word precisely modulated. Humanity does not negotiate its existence. We negotiate the terms of your destruction. The chamber erupted, not in panic, but in a unified resonance that felt like a physical force. Military commanders, scientists, political leaders, all united by singular understanding. This wasn't just a diplomatic failure. This was a declaration of war. Dr. Chen noticed something peculiar in the quantum translation. The Vexeri communicator's fractal structure momentarily destabilized, like a flicker of uncertainty, or, perhaps more profoundly, fear. Outside the council chamber, Earth's military and scientific communities were already mobilizing. Research facilities working on theoretical quantum technologies were now converting their most radical concepts into potential weapons. The memorial wall behind Lucia continued to display the names of the lost, but now those names weren't just a reminder of destruction. They were a promise. The Quantum Dynamics Research Facility looked like a controlled hurricane of innovation. Holographic displays twisted and morphed like living entities, each projection a universe of potential waiting to be unlocked. Dr. Soren Nakamura stood at the epicenter, his dark eyes scanning multiple data streams simultaneously. Around him, humanity's most brilliant minds worked with manic precision that bordered on religious fervor. Neural quantum interface destabilizing, called out Dr. Maya Patel, her fingers dancing across adaptive controls. We're losing coherence in the dimensional probability matrix. Beside her, Zara Okafor was wrestling with something far more fundamental. Her project wasn't just about creating a weapon. It was about understanding the very fabric of quantum communication that the Vexeri used as their primary technological advantage. It's not just communication, Zara muttered, her holographic displays showing intricate quantum entanglement patterns. It's a language, a living, breathing mathematical language that they use to manipulate reality itself. Soren approached, his prosthetic right hand, a quantum adaptive replacement from an exploration accident, shifting its molecular structure to better interface with the displays. What are the latest intercepts showing? He asked Zora. The Vexeri networks have a fundamental weakness, she responded, her neural link allowing her to process information at unprecedented speeds. They treat information as a linear construct, but human pattern recognition is fundamentally nonlinear. It was more than a technological observation. It was a philosophical declaration. In a hidden section of the facility, a different kind of adaptation was happening. Commander Kai Okafor, Zora's brother and a veteran of the Mars Uprising, was working with military strategists. They weren't just preparing for conventional war. They were reimagining the very concept of conflict. Traditional warfare is dead, Kai told a group of seasoned commanders. We're not fighting with ships and weapons. We're fighting with information, with probability, with the very fabric of quantum reality. A holographic simulation erupted between them, a multi-dimensional chess game where the pieces were entire star systems and movement happened simultaneously across multiple dimensions of possibility. Dr. Patel made a breakthrough. A subtle shift in the quantum matrix revealed something extraordinary. The Vexeri didn't just communicate through quantum frequencies. They existed within them. It's like they're not just using quantum technology, she explained to Soren, her voice a mixture of scientific excitement and profound realization. They are quantum technology. Their entire civilization is a living, breathing quantum algorithm. Zara's research took an unexpected turn. She discovered that human creativity, that indefinable spark of innovation, was itself a form of quantum uncertainty. The very unpredictability that the Vexeri saw as a weakness was humanity's greatest strength. They can predict patterns, Zora explained during an emergency briefing. But they can't predict imagination. They can't calculate human potential. Another team was developing what they called the Prometheus Protocol, a series of technological innovations that didn't just defend against the Vexari. They proposed to fundamentally rewrite the rules of engagement. Neural interfaces that could predict quantum weapon trajectories, adaptive camouflage that existed simultaneously in multiple quantum states, communication systems that could transmit information through quantum entanglement faster than light itself. Soren looked at his team, a mosaic of humanity's most brilliant minds, young and old, from every corner of the globe, each one a living testament to human potential. We're not just developing weapons, he said, his voice carrying through the facility. We're rewriting the fundamental laws of reality. Outside, the first prototype quantum adaptive fighter craft began its test run. It didn't just move through space. It danced between possibilities. Defiance Ascendant. The stealth carrier Vindication moved through space like a phantom, its quantum adaptive hull bending light and probability around it. Lieutenant Commander Kai Okafor flexed his neural interface, feeling the ship's systems merge with his consciousness. Quantum camouflage at 98.2% efficiency, reported Lieutenant Amara Singh, her fingers dancing across holographic targeting systems. Her family had been on Meridian Colony. Every moment of this mission was a personal vendetta. The Vexeri forward operating base loomed ahead, a crystalline structure that seemed to exist between dimensions, pulsing with quantum energy that would have been invisible to conventional sensors. But the Vindication was anything but conventional. Target acquisition in 3, Kai vocalized through the neural link. 2. 1. The first strike was psychological as much as physical. A quantum disruption pulse ripped through the Vexeri base's communication networks. It wasn't just an attack. It was a complete deconstruction of their information infrastructure. Entire communication matrices collapsed, quantum encryption keys dissolved, and strategic data streams turned into meaningless static. Aboard the base, Vexeri tactical units experienced something unprecedented: uncertainty. Their perfectly calculated probabilities fractured. Their predictive algorithms, which had guided their surgical destruction of human colonies, suddenly became useless. For the first time, the Vexeri experienced something close to human emotion: confusion. Secondary vector compromised, Amara reported, her voice calm despite the magnitude of what they were achieving. Their quantum communication network is experiencing total systemic failure. Kai watched the holographic display. Each Vexeri vessel wasn't just being attacked, it was being fundamentally unmade. The quantum disruption protocols developed by his sister's team were working beyond their most optimistic simulations. But this was more than a military strike. It was a message. We are not your victims. A secondary team led by Commander Elena Santos was simultaneously infiltrating the base's data archives. They weren't just destroying, they were collecting. Every piece of Vexeri technology, Every fragment of strategic information became a potential weapon. Data extraction at 73% came a whispered report through the neural network. Their technological archives are complex. Some of these systems seem to be alive. The Vexari base began to disintegrate, not through conventional destruction, but through a calculated quantum unraveling. Entire sections of the structure simply ceased to exist, their quantum matrices collapsing in on themselves. Kai remembered his sister's words during their last conversation before the mission. They see information as a linear construct. Zara had told him, show them what human creativity truly means. And that's exactly what they were doing. A quantum communication burst erupted from the Vindication, a signal so complex, so deliberately chaotic, that it would take the Vexari centuries to fully decode. It contained more than tactical information. It was a psychological warfare tool, a message encoded in quantum uncertainty. We are watching. We are learning. We are coming. Commander Santo's infiltration team discovered something extraordinary. The Vexari weren't just a technological civilization. They were a collective consciousness, with each individual being more of a quantum node than a distinct entity. They don't understand individual sacrifice, Elena reported back. Their entire strategic model is based on collective probability. They can't comprehend why we would risk everything for individual survival. As the Vindication pulled away from the disintegrating base, Kai allowed himself a moment of reflection. This wasn't just a military victory. This was a fundamental challenge to the Vexari understanding of existence. Amara's voice cut through his thoughts. Incoming transmission from Earth Command. Admiral Hassan's hologram materialized, his expression a blend of scientific curiosity and warrior's pride. Excellent work, he said. But this is just the beginning. Outside the ship's quantum adaptive viewports, the remains of the Vexari base continued to dissolve, a testament to humanity's first true strike in a war that would reshape the galaxy. The message was clear. Humanity had arrived, and we are not asking for permission. The first Vexari planet killer weapon breached Earth's outer defense perimeter with surgical precision, but precision was no longer enough. Dr. Wei Chen watched from the Global Defense Command Center as the weapon approached, his fingers adorned with quantum reactive neural interfaces already initiating countermeasures that existed beyond traditional understanding of defense. Adaptive shield matrix engaging, he called out, his voice a calm counterpoint to the chaos erupting around him. What the Vexari didn't understand was that humanity had been preparing for this moment long before the first shot was fired. Earth was no longer a single vulnerable planet. It was a distributed network of human potential, a living, breathing organism that could absorb and redirect destruction. Underground cities materialized where conventional urban centers once stood. Entire populations shifted with algorithmic precision, guided by AI systems that could predict and redirect threat vectors faster than the Vexari could calculate. In the Mars Defense Headquarters, General Olivia Burke watched the attack unfold with a predator's calculation. "They think this is genocide," she muttered to her tactical team. "We'll show them the true meaning of survival." The planet killer weapon, a quantum phase device capable of unraveling entire planetary structures, approached Earth. But instead of a single vulnerable target, it found something entirely unexpected. Quantum shield generators, developed in secret research facilities, began to interact with the weapon in ways that defied conventional physics. The weapon didn't just encounter resistance, it encountered adaptation. Each layer of Earth's defense was a living system. Artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and human creativity merged into a defense mechanism that was more organic than mechanical. The planet killer weapon found itself caught in a recursive loop of possibility, simultaneously existing and not existing. Beneath the surface, Dr. Soren Nakamura's team was doing something unprecedented. They weren't just defending, they were studying. Every quantum fluctuation of the Vexari weapon became a data point, a potential weapon of their own. "It's not about stopping the weapon," Soren explained to Commander Kai Okafor, who was coordinating the military response. It's about understanding it, transforming it. The attack revealed something the Vexeri had fundamentally misunderstood about humanity. We were not a species to be eliminated. We were a problem to be solved. And humanity excelled at solving problems. Zara Okafor, now working directly with global defense, discovered something extraordinary in the weapon's quantum signature. The Vexeri hadn't just designed a weapon of destruction. They had created a complex information transmission system, one that could be hacked, redirected, transformed. They're broadcasting, Zara called out. Not just attacking. They're trying to communicate something. The planet killer weapon began to behave in impossible ways. Instead of destroying, it started to deconstruct, not just the physical environment, but the very quantum information that defines spatial reality. Captain Ilara Vance, coordinating from the orbital defense platform, recognized the strategy immediately. They're not trying to kill us, she realized. They're trying to erase our very existence from quantum probability. But humanity had been playing with quantum probability long before the Vexari arrived. Underground research facilities became quantum fortresses. Entire populations could shift between physical and quantum states. Cities could become information. Information could become cities. The line between physical reality and quantum potential became blurred. General Burke's voice cut through the chaos. Redirect. Absorb. Transform. The planet killer weapon found itself caught in a quantum feedback loop. Every attempt to destroy created new possibilities of human survival. Every strike revealed more about Vexari vulnerabilities than it destroyed human assets. Dr. Chen watched as the weapon's quantum signature began to destabilize, not through conventional defense, but through a complete reimagining of what defense could mean. "We are not a target," he whispered. "We are a solution." As the weapon's energy began to dissipate, something remarkable happened. The quantum information it carried, intended to erase human existence, became a new form of human knowledge. The Vexeri had initiated their genocide protocol. Humanity had turned it into a learning experience. Outside, the sky flickered with possibilities, a universe of potential waiting to be explored. The Prometheus Protocol wasn't just a weapon. It was humanity's most radical act of scientific rebellion. Dr. Soren Nakamura stood in the prototype development chamber, his quantum adaptive prosthetic hand interfacing directly with a holographic model that seemed to breathe with potential. Surrounding him, researchers from every continent worked with an intensity that bordered on religious fervor. "Quantum entanglement cascade initialized," announced Dr. Maya Patel, her voice a careful blend of scientific precision and barely contained excitement. "We're not just targeting physical structures anymore. We're targeting existence itself." The breakthrough had come from an unexpected intersection of disciplines. Quantum physics met biological adaptation, mathematical modeling intertwined with neural network theory. What emerged was something beyond a conventional weapon, a method of unmaking that challenged the very concept of reality. Lieutenant Commander Kai Okafor, stationed on the orbital research platform, monitored the initial test simulations. His neural interface allowed him to experience the weapon's potential in ways no previous technology could comprehend. "It's not destruction," Kai reported to the team. "It's deconstruction. We're unraveling their fundamental quantum structure." The first test target was a captured Vexeri reconnaissance vessel, carefully contained within a quantum isolation chamber that could prevent any potential cascading effects. As the Prometheus Protocol engaged, something extraordinary happened. The ship didn't explode. It didn't fragment. It simply ceased to exist across multiple quantum realities simultaneously. Zara Okafor, watching the holographic displays, articulated what everyone was thinking. "We're not destroying matter. We're eliminating its quantum potential across probability matrices." It was more than a weapon. It was a philosophical statement. Commander Elena Santos' intelligence team had spent months analyzing captured Vexeri communication networks. They discovered something profound. The alien civilization treated reality as a complex mathematical equation. Humanity was about to introduce a variable they couldn't calculate. Their entire strategic model is based on predictive algorithms, Elena explained during a classified briefing. The Prometheus protocol doesn't just break those algorithms, it introduces fundamental uncertainty. The weapon worked by understanding the Vexari at a level beyond physical existence. It targeted the quantum entanglement that maintained their technological consciousness, unraveling their very method of communication and existence. In the research facility's most secure section, a team led by Dr. Patel discovered something even more extraordinary. The Prometheus protocol could be selectively applied, allowing for precise quantum deconstruction that could target specific technological or biological systems. We can surgically remove their weapons capability without harming their basic life support, Maya explained to the gathered military leadership. We can offer them a choice we were never given. The final confrontation came not as a devastating battle, but as a calculated demonstration. A single human vessel, the Vindication, approached the Vexari command nexus, broadcasting on all quantum frequencies. Captain Ilara Vance delivered humanity's message personally. We have studied you. We have understood you. And now, we have surpassed you. A controlled burst of the Prometheus protocol unmade a single Vexari battle cruiser, not with violence, but with mathematical precision. It didn't explode. It simply ceased to be, across all quantum probabilities. The Vexari response came slowly, their quantum signatures fluctuating with what human sensors could only interpret as profound uncertainty. Computational anomaly detected. Human potential reassessment required. No reassessment, Ilara responded. Recognition. We are not your algorithms. We are not your equations. We are humanity. And we will not be erased. The terms of peace came not through submission, but through transformation. The Vexari would withdraw from human space. They would restore, insofar as quantum physics allowed, what had been taken, and they would recognize humanity not as a resource to be harvested or a threat to be eliminated, but as something they had never encountered before, an equal. As the Vindication returned to Earth, Admiral Hassan met the crew personally. This isn't just victory, he told them. This is evolution. Soren Nakamura and his sister Zara stood on the observation deck of the orbital research platform, watching as Earth glowed blue and green below them, not just preserved but transformed. Humanity had not merely survived extinction. They had transcended it. What happens now? Zara asked, her eyes reflecting the stars beyond. Soren smiled, his quantum prosthetic hand shifting unconsciously through possibilities. Now we explore, not just space, but potential. They tried to erase our future. Instead, they helped us discover it. Outside, the first ships equipped with humanity's new quantum adaptive technology prepared to venture beyond known space. They carried with them not just the legacy of those lost in the Vexari attacks, but the promise of what humanity had become. Not victims, not survivors, but pioneers of a new understanding of existence itself. The war cry had been answered, the promise fulfilled. Humanity hadn't just endured, we had evolved. And the universe would never be the same.